What's going on, fight fans? We are back here with another fight night, another Saturday night, action-packed of UFC Apex Vegas 96. And wow, what an incredible card it was. It was actually pretty decent, pretty solid. It wasn't as bad as usually most Apex cards was, especially this year. There's been some Apex cards that's been pretty shit this year that they've been putting on for the UFC, but this card was actually pretty entertaining. And we start off with the first fight on the card. We had Wang Kong. She got a tremendous first round KO against Victoria Leonard. Really put her out with the first couple of shots that she had put on her. Put herself as a name for somebody to be able to really look at. She's had a kickboxing bout with Valentina Shevchenko, beat her with kickboxing, and now she's going to make a name and stamp in that division. Moving on up the card, we have Jacqueline Cavalcanti versus Josiane Nunes, and Jacqueline Cavalcanti really outpointed Josiane Nunes, really on the feet, was moving towards the cage a lot, was really on the back foot, but was really looking good with a lot of nice low kicks, a lot of nice jabs, and a lot of nice combinations and power shots that she landed on Josiane. Even though Josiane did put up a lot of pressure on her, did land his shots here and there, and was staying busy and was pressing forward and was pressing the action, but she just completely got outclassed on the feet. And Cavalcanti is really starting to put herself as a name to really just stamp that division. And she has, WMMA is pretty much like that, where, they have women on the back feet that they can be able to actually put on some good fights. Moving on up the card, we have Vyacheslav Borshev versus James Lantop. And very nice, good back and forth fight, standout fight between these two guys. It did not go to the ground at all. Vyacheslav Borshev really, in my opinion, just not outpointed, but pretty much outgunned James Lantop. Lantop's technique is pretty poor. He had a lot of wide misses, even though over time during the fight, especially in the third round, he started to pour on his offense and started to really mount up some good momentum going his way. But Borshev just was able to just outclass him, especially on the feet with that kickboxing background that he has. It was really, really nice that he's shown that and get back on to winning ways. But Lantop showed a lot of toughness and had a a really good damn chin. There was a lot of shots that Borshev landed on him that I'm pretty sure if it was anybody else, they would have got put on their ass about it. But really, really good win for Borshev, especially against that last loss he had against, I forgot his name, but yeah. Moving on up the card, Zachary Reese versus Jose Daniel Medina. I wanted Medina to get knocked the fuck out during this fight. I mean, this dude really didn't do nothing at all. Got outstruck the entire 2 rounds of the first fight, and in the third round just got put on his ass multiple times, multiple takedowns, couldn't do anything about it. Showed toughness, I mean, and showed heart, you know what I mean, and was kind of entertaining a little bit. Was able to take punishment, but he was pretty much just a heavy bag for Zachary Reese, and he landed a lot of nice body kicks to the body that hurt Jose Daniel Medina, especially in the first and in the second round. A lot of times, Zachary Reese looking really impressive. Getting that experience, especially in the octagon, is really good for him. So good win on him. Moving up the card, I mean, just a damn. I mean, man, UFC fighters and their IQ, man. We had Gerald Meerschaert versus Edmund Sabazan. And Edmund Sabazan pulls the all-time IQ of a UFC fighter moment. In the first round, just completely like outclassing and like outspeed GM3. Like it was just a typical grappler versus striker matchup, and Edmund looked like he was looking great, stuffing some takedowns from GM3 and wasn't getting take to the ground at all. So it was staying on the feet, and Shabazian, again, that's where his advantage is. And towards the second round, Sabazian landed a nice combination, hit him to the body that hurt GM3 really, really bad. And then they go to the ground, gets damn near finished. I mean, he's just pummeling GM3 on the ground, and somehow he survives it. And while he survives it, it stays on the grappling match because, Sabazian's tired because he gassed himself out. Because instead of, going back to the body, he's just trying to headhunt again and try to get a knockout or something. and it stays on the ground. And this is GM Street's territory, and Sabazan, like the dumb fuck he is, stays on the ground with him and gets submitted in an arm triangle for a comeback win for GM3. Moving on up the card, we had Michael Morales versus Neil Magny, aka the ultimate gatekeeper of all time, especially for the UFC. Neil Magny in the beginning of the round tried to make it a little messy, make it a little wrestling, gets up on the cage, and just gets fucking rocked with a nasty right hand by Michael Morales. Drops him on the ground, and he just gets ground and pound like it ain't nothing. And Michael Morales looks like he could be something. I mean, he just completely obliterated Neil Magny, made him look like nothing. So that means there's a potential of him to actually be something. And now with him being ranked, and I don't think he'll take Neil Magny's ranking, but him being ranked, we can get some good competition in the welterweight division for Michael Morales moving on up his career. So that's really, really good that he's able to show that he can get a win on a ranked opponent, and especially the gatekeeper of all time, Neil Magny. Moving on up the card, they had some Ultimate Fighter fights. Marianne Santos versus Akil, I believe it was named, gets a highlight reel KO with a nasty left hook, wins the welterweight Ultimate Fighter. You know, shout out to him. Had a really good performance, especially on the feet. Really, really good. Really, really slick. And really displayed his just talent overall. I mean, the dude is so young, has a lot of potential to be able to really put his name out there and have a tremendous career in the UFC. And what a start off for him to be able to win the featherweight Ultimate Fighter for himself and just already have a nice highlight reel, nasty KO, just completely slumps this dude out. And then moving up the card, we had another Ultimate Fighter fight in the middleweight division between Robert Valentine and Ryan Loer, and it was a hell of a grappling match between these two guys. I mean, the scrabbles between these two guys were just off the charts. They were just moving and just rolling around, just crazy. Multiple times by between these two dudes, Loer had chances to get the guillotine. Looked like for a moment Valentine had a rear naked choke in the first round, and it was just a tremendous, ability to just get out of chokes and getting put back into chokes and submissions between these two guys. And in the second round, ended up being back on the feet and in a terrible position for Valentine. Couldn't go nowhere, couldn't do anything. Loer just kept just elbowing him to death, and he had nowhere to go. And Loer ends up winning the middleweight Ultimate Fighter. So shout out to him. Moving on up the card, the co-main event, we had Tabitha Ricci and Angela Hill. In my opinion, the banger of the night, the fight of the night between these two gals. I mean, they were just throwing down. It was just a hellacious fight between these two girls. I mean, Jesus Christ. It could have gone either way, whether you look at it, where you like to score most of your shots. I lean more towards Tabitha Ricci. I think she landed more of the cleaner shots. She got more of the better advantages. She pushed Angela Hill more towards the fence and had a lot more pressure going to her, and she got I believe the takedown in the first round. So she was looking really good. She got another ranked win opponent, so she's moving on up in this division. She's putting out a name for herself, and she's really, really showing what she's capable of doing, especially in this division that's kind of a little bit wide open. So good on win and great fight between these two guys for Tabitha Ricci. And moving on to the main event, we had Kyle Bahu versus Jared Cannonier. In the first round between these two guys, it was kind of a feeling out process between these two, but really I like the low kicks that Bahu landed on Cannonier. It was really, really nice, and his jab, especially his southpaw jab, was in Cannonier's face all damn night. He couldn't be able to take it out of his face. It landed accurately throughout the entire fight, and especially through this entire round. But Cannonier did have a lot of moments with his power, of course. That's pretty much what he bases with his hands, that he did threaten Bahu a lot. With his power, especially in that first round. In the second round, Cannonier, his power shots, a lot of his shots did land on the guard of Bahu, so Bahu was really good and really tight with his defense, but some of those shots did slip in. They did land on Bahu, and they did exchange a lot more They were starting to get to, exchanges between each other. He really was trying to time that knee up the middle and to the stomach for Barahu to Cannonier. He really tried to get that down packed. And it was really looking really good. But I thought that Cannonier had the better round between these two guys. Even though Barahu, again, his jab was just continually staying into the face of Cannonier. And in the third round, Barahu landed a tremendous right hook in the beginning of the round on Cannonier and really got back to the game plan of starting to land those low kicks, getting the base out of Cannonier, and really taking away that power that he has in his hands and really starting to hurt his mobility. So he's standing more in front of Barahu, which is giving Barahu a better chance to be able to hit him with a lot of more accurate and powerful shots as well to really hurt Cannonier. And towards the end of the round, with like a minute left, Garahu lands a nasty straight left down the pipe, hurting Cannonier badly, having him wobbling all around, having him almost out on his feet. Tremendous round by Barahu, really getting the momentum back his way to really start to get it to make it look like more his fight. And then going to the fourth round, while Cannonier was hurt towards the end of that fourth round tremendously. It was a really good approach, I think, tactical approach by Barahu, not to waste a lot of his gas tank on the finish and, try to find it instead of, forcing it his way. And he started to land, some nice shots. It started to get back to it. Again, he was trying to manage his gas tank a lot better. And while it seemed that Barahu was starting to get his way, and while he started to mount his offense a lot better, Cannonier landed a nasty, I believe, right overhand right, timed him really well, and really started to land power shots on Barahu, really started to take the momentum away, especially in that round towards the end, and potentially could have stole that round towards his way. I don't remember the judges' scorecards specifically, but I know Barahu obviously won. And it could have potentially swung it his way. And in my opinion, I think it did. I think he did have the better work overall, even though he didn't really do much in the beginning and middle of the round. I think he showed a lot of good recovery and recovered very well from being hurt in the third, especially at the end, and really started to, show some toughness and some grit to be able to get, possibly the win his way. But I mean, you cannot question the heart and toughness of Cannonier, man, because Jesus Christ, man. He was getting outboxed by Barajo that entire fifth round. Barajo made Cannonier miss a whole, the head movement was tremendous. He made him miss so many shots. And while in turn, Barajo was pot-shotting the hell out of Cannonier and landing that jab at will, landing combinations or 1-2s, 1-2 and threes and twos, combinations really well. He was just making Cannonier look silly on the feet. And then all of a sudden, Barahu, not powerfully, but lands an accurate and precise, really great 1-2 down the middle. And I mean, damn near flatlines Cannonier. I mean, badly hurts him, drops him on his ass. I mean, I thought he was out. It was a very late reaction, but I thought he was completely out. He drops to the ground. Barajo follows him up, hits him with tremendous elbows and ground and pound on the ground. But somehow, someway, Cannonier survives the fifth, and Barajo obviously ends up with a win and taking over that fifth round. I believe he won 3-2, 4-1. Either way, I think he was able to pull off that win the way that he needed to be able to do. And it certifies him now, with him being the 12th ranked middleweight, him going against the 5th ranked middleweight, potentially taking that 5th ranked middleweight position from Cannonier. And now he's going to be potentially, with the names of Whitaker is going to be fighting Chimaev, so he's not going to be open. Adesanya just came off a loss. Strickland is looking to go for the championship belt versus against DDP. And Barajo called out DDP for the championship match, so I don't think they're going to give it to him. But obviously somebody in the middleweight division with maybe a little less of a higher of a ranking of Bahu, but somewhere in the mix between there. I think that he definitely needs one more fight, maybe two more fights to be able to certify himself as one of the upper echelon of the middleweight division, but he's definitely on his way to being there, and especially with that gym and the fighting nerds, those guys definitely know what the fuck they're doing at that gym. Really entertaining card, really good card in my opinion. Obviously didn't make a prediction video, but obviously I'm making this reaction video. Like this video if you like this video, you guys. Comment any reactions that you had from this card, what you thought about this card, what you think about Baraju's performance, anybody else's performance, you know, the highlight KO from Marion Santos, Tabitha Ricci and her throwdown, Edmund Shabazian being a complete retard. Michael Morales is definitely going to be a contender in the welterweight division. There's a lot of good names. There's a lot of good contenders and up-and-coming fighters coming up now in these divisions. Really, really exciting to watch. Subscribe, man. Subscribe if you want to be able to continue to see this type of content continuously and consistently every Saturday night, every Friday, every fight night. I'm bringing it for you guys, whether it be UFC or boxing. You know, I guys got you. Thank you guys for watching again, and peace.